Hi everybody, this is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. Alright, so I want to talk a little bit more about this. What did I label my last video? I guess I just put it as the 11/11 Gateway, which is coming up here, of course, on November 11th. In that video, I spoke about the cube. I mentioned a little bit, I think, I'm not sure in the video, or at least in the description, the cube of space. This is the cosmic cube. And before I begin, there are those who attempt to gain knowledge, only in order to, excuse me, gain, we have to be really responsible. You see, I really try to be very full of love, how I express things. I try not to say anything negative about another individual, no matter what, or anything about this reality. Because even in this reality, we have to really watch how we observe things. If you are observing things from any type of negative mindset, it still means that there's tons of clearing that needs to be taken from within yourself. So I don't see anything now in this reality until my ego, of course, tries to come up or my shadow side tries to make me reflect more, of course, so I can dissolve a little bit more of my ego. But for the most part, when I look at another human being, if I ever watch the news or someone has left something on the TV with the news showing and I hear something, I don't see what they're trying to express. So if it's something going on worldwide where it's really negative and really harmful, I'm talking about if it could be anything in relationship to, murders going on in this reality, or whether it's political or, anything. I don't see that. I don't see that. I understand from my perspective now, from where I am and how I have learned, how spirit has been guiding me to stop seeing from the illusions, that anything we observe, if we believe in what we are observing, is a hidden aspect of self. So I am very specific about avoiding phrases. Not because I'm avoiding phrases because I am afraid of speaking those words. I avoid expression because, one, my heart is full of love. Is attempting to be as full of love as Source will allow me to be. But because if I express something negative, and there is another individual who is out there listening to my videos, is still within that healing process of becoming, what they pick up from me has a major influence on how they heal. I don't want to speak anything incorrectly that is going to prevent another individual from truly healing themselves. So knowledge must be, let me just push pause here and clear out my throat a little bit. Sorry about that. Knowledge really must be used for the greatest good. And I'm going to put this into my video about Patreon. And maybe I did in the other video. I don't know. Anyway, so I apologize if I am repeating myself here. I created Patreon about, 8 months ago, a year ago, in attempts to create a more structured community. Maybe helping me also become a little bit more stable with the energy of money. And I wanted to help those who were truly interested in helping themselves. And so I thought, well, if you're really interested in helping yourself, you're going to do whatever it takes to gain that type of knowledge or ability, whatever it is. It's like an example here is I can always go back to getting healthy. An individual who tries to get healthy will change their ways of eating from, getting rid of all the junk out of their diet. They are going to become a little bit more active, and more than likely become more positive-minded, incorporating positive reinforcements around them. It means that a person who is really ready to become healthy is going to do whatever it takes to become healthy. Okay? And that's what the type of mindset that I had in the spiritual growth, which is why I was really excited about pursuing this connection on Patreon and trying to establish more of a tighter knit community. Something began to feel off with that idea. I thought to myself, love is free and love is ever giving, or supposed to be. If I limit who can see what I am talking about, like the inner secrets or the stuff that God is giving to me that I don't normally post or wouldn't normally post on everyday YouTube, I would share only to those who was, committed to me and interested in developing a tighter knit community on Patreon. And I'm like, well, how is that love? Love is not selective. Excuse me. Love doesn't pick who they are going to love. Love should be universal. Love is free all across the board and should be given to this person who has, for example, somebody who doesn't have a lot of income is probably not going to pursue anybody on Patreon. Or if they are, they're going to only give, the smallest amount that they are able to contribute. So somebody who right now is in that real beginning of healing might not be able to contribute on Patreon. Well, that means I am robbing a person who is lower in stature when it comes to, and on this, don't take it personally, this means has a lot of healing to do. What I'm talking about that is these are levels of healing. When I express anything like that, it doesn't mean you're less than or greater than what I am talking about. We are all the same people. We are just at different levels, no matter what it is. Different levels of healing, different levels of having divine wisdom, different levels of receiving light. It's all based upon the heart. How big is our heart? How big our heart is determined about how much we have healed and grown. So on Patreon, those of you, I only have, or I have had, 5 people come and join me, and I think a couple have dropped off from contributing on a monthly basis. And of course, I want to say thank you for those of you who have come by and have contributed to what I do. But I have made my Patreon public. And I post the same stuff on Patreon that I post on YouTube because it didn't feel right. Again, I didn't want to keep knowledge, which everything about Source is available to anybody. Which Source is love, God is love. So if that is the case, why would I hold and refrain from giving to anyone? And so it might make people upset that I have all my information public on Patreon, when Patreon is really has been, I guess, created to be selective. And that's not what I wanted to be. That's not what I want. That's not what Spirit has been guiding me to be. It's like, Jesus, he wanted to preach, or he wanted to express the love of God. And he wasn't going to just give it to one set of people or a community. He wanted it to be universal. But it also meant those who was willing to hear what he was expressing. So they had to follow him. And if I'm walking off, meaning keeping my things private to only a certain amount of people, I am saying that, for me, it feels as if I'm telling other people that they're not worthy of this type of information or love or community. My heart is really big, really giving, and I keep my Patreon account open for the purpose of giving. I keep it open. I have several places that I post every single thing on, the same thing on. And I do so just so I can reach more people in time, when it is time for me to be able to be universal all over the place and reached and seen by whoever needs to be seen or see me and connected. Then they're going to find me. So I just wanted to say that for those of you who, and I use Patreon and other places as a way to make it easier. If in your heart there's ever a desire to contribute to what I do, because it takes time, and this is not for me to express or give you guilt or anything. That's not what I'm doing. But you guys know, we take our own time, whoever is on YouTube or anywhere, to make these videos or posts and whatever. It can be a very lengthy process, especially when lots of research goes into what we do. So, I know there's nothing wrong with people having the heart to provide, and it comes in the form of an exchange of energy. What we give is also what we receive, but what we give is because of what we are. And I don't require anyone to, of course, give me anything. Whatever you feel it is proper at any time or whatever, whether it's a like, a comment, sharing anything, or sending me a donation, I appreciate all the same. And even if you don't, I do this because it's right, not because I am looking for something or expecting something. So now that I've spent way too much time on that, let's move back to, I wanted to explain a little bit more about what is really going on. So the cube corresponds with the element of earth, which also coordinates with, the element of earth, the earth chakra. This, at the higher levels, yet no matter where you are, this is where you're anchoring in more of the higher light. But for many of us, this is pertaining to the higher levels of integration and beingness. And so the earth, the cube and the earth element focuses on the Holy Spirit, which is from the ruby ray in the physical body. It is the heart of the hallowed place of the I Am, and the sacred heart of the Sun, that is Christ's mass of illumination. The cube is made up of the shape of the square, which is the foundation of the city four square, which is also the foundation of the pyramid of life and light. Its four corners represent the four cosmic forces of fire, air, water, and earth. The square is a shape of a manifestation, as it takes in the trinity of spirit of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and adds the energies of the Mother as the fourth presence, through which all life is brought into being. The cube is the holy city, This is the Christ illumined mass, which is focus of consciousness in the light of the Holy of Holies, which is the illumined heart. The cube is the heart of the Holy Spirit in its dual shape, the octahedron, focus the 7 emanations of God into the city of Foursquare. Each of the 8 vertices of the cube is made up of 3, the Trinity times squares, or 3 times 4, which brings into manifestation the 12 aspects of deity of each element. This is the upper face, and its 4 vertices are the manifestation of heaven as above, while the lower face and its 4 vertices are the manifestation of earth, or so below. The vertical lines that connect as above to so below are guarded by the 4 hieroglyphs of spirit, who go wherever the soul goes, whether in spirit or in matter, allowing for the manifestation of heaven on earth as one even flow of conscious energy. So basically, this 1111, again, it creates the cube of space, or as I was saying, the Foursquare, the city of Foursquare, which is a representation of the Holy Spirit. It takes the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, but the 4th aspects of the Mother to create the Golden Child. And this is all about timing, about the right timing of things. And perhaps like right now, there's still lots of, and especially depending on where you are in your cycle, of the process of your initiations and the purification. Wherever you are, the symptoms can be truly intense. Lots of crown pressure, lots of mucus, vocal cord changes and upgrades. All of these are all forms of purification, but also upgrades. You are never sick. You are always healing. You are always becoming. In order to become, deeper levels of purification must take place. And until everything has been purified through time, through blood, you can't become. You do not understand who you are. You do not have the I am presence. It is really a deep sense of purification. And when the pineal and pituitary glands are really trying to do their upgrade and mixing of all of those hormones, the CSF and the cerebellum, all of that stuff trying to mix and match and become this golden energy of flowing liquid water through you, you might have a sense of, where am I? What is happening here? I feel kind of empty. I feel kind of alone. But really, you're also feeling so connected. But there's a sense of, what is going on? Like things are not being answered, things aren't being resolved, and it's because things are really coming together. There's a sense of, it's like a deeper sense of death that is taking place, a deeper sense of disconnection that is taking place, that's going to allow you to find greater understanding. It doesn't happen overnight. The blood has to regenerate. The accumulation and the CSF must increase, continue to increase, to reach all of the centers within the body, to bring more liquid light throughout the body, the blood, the DNA, giving full upgrades and full illumination. And it's through the heart that you find greater understanding. It is through the heart that you really can become humbled. It's through the heart that you are, of course, grateful to everything. It's through the heart that you find truth. You are not there until you're there. You're not whole until you're there. And even when you become there, this is something that I know I reflect, you will never express. Because this path, the one who has really taken this path through the true heart of Christ, of God, really doesn't want to become. They know how difficult this path is, how hard it was to get there, how much work took to get here, or is going to take to get there. And gratefulness, true gratefulness, is going to make you never express that you are something that others may not be right now. That's what it is. You never, someone who is truly love, and you're going to learn this throughout your process. When we start to wake up, we're like, okay, I want to tell everybody what I know. I want them to know this so they can change themselves. That's still the ego playing here. When you are love, you're going to begin to really let go of that idea of having to speak to other people and change other people and make them think that your way is the right way. Our ways, our path, are very unique. Although they can be very similar, we don't know what Spirit is doing in another individual's lives. We don't know if that individual has any idea about what is going on. Even if they are not living a life like you think they're supposed to be, they're going through the ascension cycle as well. Their form of self-realization might be different. Their form of perception might be different. But because there are so many vast experiences, that Source is going to take you through all kinds of different religions or different sources or different regions of the earth in time to finally bring you back to the same thing. It's very unique and very similar, but yet we can't compare. We can't compare. We can't expect that. I definitely don't expect everybody to resonate with what I am talking about. And I don't actually hear out there a lot about other people who understand what I understand, a very small, selective amount of individuals who understand what I'm talking about. So I hope what I am really expressing about this is that, love knows when to speak, and love knows when to be quiet. Love never wants to make somebody become or feel less than, which is why, again, if I go back to my Patreon account or anything that I have the ability to be selective, public, private, or those who can see, that's not love. That's just my perspective. Love doesn't close off and select only a certain amount of individuals. It will speak and provide, and those who are open to receiving will find that information. We don't have to go out of our way for people to find us. We don't have to go out of our way for people to love us. Love just is. So I hope this video helps, and I know I'm going to have a little bit more sometime, maybe tomorrow or whenever it is. I'm not sure I'm going to make a video tomorrow. So I live for every single second of the day, and that is it. I don't focus too much on the future. All we have is right now. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.